All right, let's dive deep into Cadiz, Spain.
Yeah, and we're going beyond the usual travel guide stuff for this one. You've
Mm.
got a mix of sources, hotel recommendations,
Okay.
audio walking tours, and even some insights from a travel writer who lives there.
Oh, wow. So it's like we get the locals' perspective.
Exactly. And speaking of local, Cadiz has a rich history, like over 3,000 years.
3,000.
Yeah, one of the oldest cities in Western Europe.
Wow, that's incredible. 3,000 years. I mean, think about all the
It's
history.
even older than Rome.
Really?
Yeah, Cadiz was already a major port when, Hannibal was marching across the Alps.
So when I think of really old cities, I picture crumbling ruins. But Cadiz is still going strong.
Yeah, it's a really cool mix of old and new, but it's not all about beaches, though it has beautiful beaches.
Right, because the sources we have really talk about cultural experiences too.
Definitely, like the cathedral is a must-see,
Yeah.
and the Roman theater.
Oh, yeah, those are on my list.
And Cadiz played a huge part in shaping Spain. I mean, did you know that's where they had the first constitutional government?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So much history. But beyond landmarks, what's the vibe? What's it like to actually be in Cadiz?
Well, based on the sources, picture this. Flamenco music, the smells of Andalusian food, vibrant colors everywhere.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, the sources actually recommend ditching the map and just wandering.
I like that idea, just getting lost in the city.
Yeah, just letting Cadiz unfold in front of you.
I love that. And speaking of getting lost, let's introduce the guy who's kind of guiding us through all this, Clive Muir. He wrote the main source we're using.
Right, Clive's lived in the region for over 20 years, and he's really into sustainable tourism, which is great.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
He recommends checking out a couple of websites, Ronda Today, visiting Cadiz, and Caminito del Rey. He really seems to know this area inside and out.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a key thing for you, our listener. These aren't just random tips. These are coming from someone who really knows and loves the region.
Like having a friend show you around their favorite spots.
Exactly. So, let's dive into some of the practicalities of planning a trip.
Yes, because, as much as we love the idea of just wandering, a little planning can go a long way.
Right. We've got hotel recommendations, links to booking sites, and Clive even suggests some activities like Segway tours and flamenco shows.
This is great. I'm already getting excited to go.
Me too.
So what else does Clive have in store for us in this deep dive?
And he doesn't just give us any hotels. They all kind of fit into his sustainable travel thing.
Oh, I like that. So we're not just, like, seeing the sights, but also being mindful of our impact.
Exactly. He even recommends using Booking.com to find other places near the beaches and those landmarks we were talking about.
Nice. So we've got options.
Yeah.
It's cool how much Clive's passion for Cadiz really comes through in these recommendations.
Yeah, he wants us to really get it, like experience the heart of the city.
Yeah.
He uses phrases like uncover the charms and immerse yourself.
Right. He even calls it La Tacita de Plata.
Oh, yeah, the little silver cup.
It's like a hidden treasure.
Yeah, and that goes back to his whole ditch the map advice.
It's deeper than just not using a map, right?
Mhm.
It's about being open to discovery.
Absolutely. He wants us to use all our senses, the sights, the sounds, the smells.
Yeah, like wandering into a hidden plaza, smelling orange trees in the sea air, hearing flamenco music.
And tasting the food. He really emphasizes the sensory experience of Cadiz.
Man, I'm getting serious wanderlust just thinking about it.
Me too. He's a really good writer. He really transports you there.
Absolutely. And I really admire his commitment to sustainable travel.
Oh, yeah. He's all about exploring the world responsibly.
And he actually walks the walk. He's got this website, Wildside Holidays, that promotes businesses that are doing things the right way.
So it's like not just experiencing Cadiz, but doing it in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. It all ties back to that incredible history.
Yeah, 3,000 years, it's hard to even wrap your head around it.
I know. Imagine all the stories those streets could tell.
Oh, no, right?
What would it have been like to be there centuries ago?
It makes you wonder, and it makes me wonder, what about you, our listener?
Ooh, good question.
If you could walk those streets, what would you be most curious to see?
That's a tough one. I think I'd be drawn to the port, imagining Phoenician traders or Spanish galleons setting sail.
It's a reminder that Cadiz has always been this crossroads, a place where cultures meet.
And with Clive as our guide, it feels like we're stepping right into that story.
And that story goes beyond Cadiz itself. Remember those websites he recommended?
Ronda Today, visiting Cadiz, and the Caminito del Rey.
They're like windows into the whole region.
He really wants to share the magic of Andalusia.
Yeah, he does. And before we get too carried away, we should probably wrap up this part of the deep dive.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
So, any final thoughts for our listener before we move on? It's really inspiring to see someone so passionate about a place. Makes me want to experience it for myself.
Yeah.
Walk those streets, hear that flamenco music, taste the food.
I know, right? It's like he's sharing a piece of his heart with us.
Totally. And for anyone listening who's feeling that pull, definitely check out Clive's websites. They're amazing resources for planning a trip.
Yeah, packed with info.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one last thought.
Okay, shoot.
Think about what drew you to this episode in the first place. Was it the history, the beaches, the culture?
Well, maybe it was Clive himself.
Yeah.
Hearing from someone who's really lived it.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever sparked your interest, hold on to that feeling. Let it fuel your own adventures, whether it's to Cadiz or somewhere closer to home.
Well said. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the charms of Cadiz. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.